Welcome to Classic Mosaic Truth. Today, we're diving into a really powerful idea from ancient strategy, how the very act of looking for something can actually stop you from seeing it.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever wanted something so badly that you just completely missed the obvious signs, the red flags that were sitting right there in front of your face?
Today, we're taking a concept from Sun Tzu, intelligence, and we're going to flip it on its head. This isn't about spies and secrets. No, this is about turning inward. We're talking about a radical kind of personal clarity, a way to see the world as it actually is, not just as we wish it would be.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll dig into how our own expectations can literally blind us. Then, we're going to redefine intelligence, not as knowing secrets, but as pure awareness. We'll learn how to filter out all that mental noise from the real signal. And finally, we'll make it super practical with a simple exercise you can start using today.
Okay, so let's start with the central problem here, the trap of obsession. It's a pretty strange paradox, isn't it? The harder you look for a specific answer, the more your own desires get in the way, clouding your vision and making it almost impossible to see the truth.
That kind of intensity literally distorts our perception. And look, this isn't just some ancient idea for generals on a battlefield. Think about it in your own life. A tense negotiation, a difficult family talk, or a huge career decision. In any of those high-stakes moments, your judgment is right there on the line. So if true intelligence isn't about spying on other people, then what in the world is it? Well, Sun Tzu called it foreknowledge, but we can think of it less like a superpower and more like a learnable skill of perception. For our purposes, let's call it ethical situational awareness. And here's a great way to think about it. Imagine your mind is like a radio receiver, and the world is broadcasting a signal. This is the art of dialing down your own internal static, your hopes, your fears, so you can finally hear that signal loud and clear.
And this right here, this is probably the single most important distinction we need to make. The key to clarity is separating a pure observation, the raw data of what you actually saw or heard, from the story you immediately tell yourself about it. That little gap, right between the fact and the story, that's where most of our confusion is born.
This leads us right into the next piece of the puzzle, separating signal from noise. To really see clearly, we have to learn how to pick out the objective truth, that's the signal, and filter out all the mental chatter that surrounds it. Sun Tzu actually pinpointed what he called the 5 dangerous faults of a leader. But we can think of them today as the main sources of our own internal noise. Things like recklessness, fear of conflict, a quick temper, a super sensitive ego. Each one of these creates a massive blind spot in our decision-making. And of all these sources of noise, fear is by far the most powerful. It's like an emotional amplifier that just hijacks our rational brain. It's basically designed to distort reality, turning shadows into monsters and neutral events into personal attacks, all in the name of keeping us safe.
But, and this is a big but, gaining this kind of clarity comes with a huge responsibility. This is not a tool for manipulation. In fact, genuine clarity can only exist when it's built on a rock-solid foundation of strong ethics.
Trust and integrity aren't just nice-to-haves. No, they are the very anchors of clear perception. Without them, even the sharpest insight in the world can just steer you right toward disaster. So how does this ancient wisdom actually apply to your life, right now? Let's get really practical and look at 3 common areas where we can practice the skill of seeing clearly.
Whether it's at work, in our relationships, or with our own habits, the core skill is always the same. It's about consciously separating the raw fact from the emotional story. Honestly, mastering this one simple skill can transform every single area of your life.
All right, let's build a practical tool you can use right away. It's a simple little mental loop that's designed to help you respond with wisdom instead of just reacting with raw emotion.
So this process, adapted from modern strategy, is something we can call the clarity loop. It intentionally puts a little space between a trigger and your response. First, you just observe the raw facts. Second, you orient by checking your own story, by questioning your internal filter. And only then, third, do you decide and act. That small pause is enough to break the cycle of flawed automatic reactions.
So what's the big takeaway here? Seeing the world clearly isn't some magical ability you're born with. It's a skill you can build, grounded in self-awareness and the discipline to separate reality from all the static in your own head.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to carry with you.
Join us for the next explainer on the art of war, where we'll explore how to adapt to the terrain beneath your feet And hey, make sure you check out the full playlists on our channel for more of this timeless wisdom.